We are live. Welcome to my video. This is going to be my thoughts on The Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 5, Say the Word. This episode is rated TVMA, so will this video be. And like all other videos I've done on this show, absolutely love this episode. It will contain, yes. And there will be spoilers for the episode itself and all the ones leading up to it. All of which I love. There we go. Yes, I really... I'm a broken record here, but I really appreciate when media does a really good job, exploring grief. And yeah, Rick, like, he's basically just... throughout the entire episode, he just needs to get the anger out of his system, by killing all these walkers, including the one that evidently ate what was left of Lori. I did briefly wonder if he was going to end up having to kill Lori Walker, but yeah, I suppose I don't actually know if this was that much better, him finding her remains, and yeah. Let's see. Daryl helping with the baby is just so adorable. Like, there have been other times where they had to, like, twist his arm to really get him involved, and he's like, that's none of my business. And here he's like, there's a baby that needs my help, puts his cape on immediately out, like, just wastes no time. And then he's, like, holding the baby, and, like, he's apparently better at soothing the baby than Carl is, and everyone's just standing around, like, smiling, and him just, and he doesn't get defensive. He's just like, yeah, it's a baby. It's just, yeah. And it was also sweet him putting a flower on what is evidently the grave for Carol. I guess they're figuring she died. I mean, all they found was the what's it called? Head covering thing. And the IMDb trivia for the episode said that the producers decided not to kill her, but then Carl also going through names, name checks Andrea, so yeah, I can understand why they would basically say, well, it's the zombie apocalypse, we just don't really have object permanence anymore. If a person isn't in our line of sight, they're probably dead. Merle felt the same way about Daryl, so fair enough. I mean, they seem to all be wrong, but I don't know. I don't know if we'll see Carol alive. I mean, I got my hopes up for Sophia, so I don't really know if it's gonna, yeah. And that was legitimately sweet. Carl being like, we should name the baby after one of the dead. I do like Little Ass Kicker as well. And yeah, Maggie and Daryl going through, finding, they do end up finding baby formula and bottles and the whole thing. It was still very, very bittersweet scene of all, you see the hand, let's see, not hand prints, but hand, like, paper cutouts of of all the children who did live there, and you find yourself wondering, are any of them still okay? I guess no one is in the world of the show. And let's see, I really appreciate Glenn, admitting, stuff like he wishes they had taken out the prisoners. He would trade a lot of other people for just one of theirs. You know, these are the kinds of things that happen when you live in this kind of desperate situation. You know, that's a big part of why elected Republicans and, you know, the white Christian men who pay them a lot of money are so eager to make things so very bad for regular voters, get them desperate enough to vote Republican, even though it's, you know, not in their own best self-interest, as a lot of people are learning right now. Now, let's see, I think, which, to be clear, I don't take any pleasure in, you know, no schadenfreude in people who voted, you know, I may have done so in the past, but at this point it's just too devastating, the results. I do hold out hope that they will join us in fighting, non-violently, obviously, against, you know, Trump, Musk, and the others. And that, you know, with all that, you know, all those people, you know, joining together, we'll be able to, I mean, at this point, let's see, which amendment? I forget which one, but there's one for, like, removing a president who is incapable of carrying out his duties. If Trump doesn't qualify, no one does. No one has, no one ever will. Now, let's see. So there's obviously some stuff about Woodbury. I want to make sure. I think I have covered everything about the prison and Rick's survivors and that. Yeah, I quite appreciated Herschel pointing out, you know, T-Dog died saving lives, and, you know, just, yeah, he remains the voice of reason. He kind of took over for Dale of being the conscience. Now, that, I think, covers, yeah, a lot of great zombie violence in this one. Just, like, Rick and Michonne just taking them out like they're nothing. Just, yeah. At first I really didn't know what to think of the field dentistry, but yeah, by the end of the episode we understand what was going on there. And I really love when the governor is confronting Michonne, and he's like, "Oh, you get off on this," you know. Her face is just like, "I don't give a fuck. I'd do it again. I will do it again if you know, if you don't stop me." Just like, she's such a badass. And yeah, also, you know, the moment she gets the sword back, she's like holding it to his, like, you know, just, yeah. And I quite appreciate Andrea saying she must have felt threatened. Yeah. By the end of the episode, Michonne is back out of Woodbury, and, you know, her words to Andrea there right before she leaves, very harsh, but, you know, she is a very guarded person, not very emotionally open, and she's also upset. She does actually care. She's worried about Andrea, but she, you know, she can't force it. And it's also this thing of, like, even if she could, I don't think she would, because it's like, she doesn't want to be forced. You know, Andrea is trying to, if everyone in Woodbury is telling her, "No, you should stay, please." And she doesn't like that, so obviously she's not going to be a hypocrite and force Andrea to not stay in Woodbury. You know, they have conversations. They both make up their minds. I love that we're still not hearing everything. You know, the part where Merle's like, just give me a couple of minutes. You know, it goes over, she says something, and we still don't hear it. And, you know, Andrea walks up, and she's like, "We were told we could leave anytime." And he's like, "Step back," you know. And then he turns back. And this part we actually do hear. He's like, Stupid fucking citizen. Anyway, yeah, the Penny. Like, the more I learn about the governor, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so he keeps his zombie daughter around, and he's like, what's it called? Brushing her hair, I want to say it's called in English, and, you know, accidentally tears off some scalp, and, you know, she is understandably upset. You know, she was already on edge because she heard rumors about Rick going around shooting zombie girls. And yeah, the part, you know, the bag over the head, fuck. And like, they made sure to stay on the shot. Like, they cut after, like, I want to say 3 seconds of the bag over the head, and like, hopefully the, like, okay, I don't really want there to be a person under that thing. I know enough about, like, there's no, obviously they made sure that she could breathe, you know, that it didn't make it difficult for her to breathe. I'm sure they rehearsed and talked her through, you know, because, like, sensory deprivation is no joke. But you know, I imagine she could still hear, but, you know, she can't see as well as she could without the bag on. So, you know, that can be very scary. You know, people have had panic attacks over less. Let's see. Then but yeah, you know, he's doing that, and then Michonne is just staring daggers through the window, and he's like, "Why didn't I shut the shutters? It's right there in the name." And let's see, I think that might more or less cover. Yeah. With the gladiatorial battles, they really are. They're doing this allegory for suburbia. You know, it's not quite literal suburbia. You can't quite have literal suburbia without a society outside of it, you know, with the people doing the work that the people in suburbia do not want to do. But it's the post-apocalyptic equivalent, and yeah, like, they're literally just, you know, viewing violence, you know, the violence involving those they see as lesser, as just their entertainment, you know. And the part where one person is like lifting their kid onto their back, I love that we see the lifting, because they could have easily just cut to the shot, and then, you know, a lot of people would pick up, oh, there's a kid there, but we might focus our attention on the characters we recognize, and Andrea and the governor are visible in that shot. Certainly Andrea's face is very clear to see, but, you know, it's one of the first things you learn about, you know, yeah, filmed entertainment, movement in the shot tends to draw the eye, you know, so we immediately focus on the kid being lifted, and it's like they're having kids watch this, you know, MMA with, like, zombie, you know, zombies, well, I guess not slowly approaching, but allowed to get closer as like the, what's it called, the ring, the boundary, you know, just, yeah. Apparently it was Rooker's idea to do the, what's it called? The, yeah, the one-armed push-ups, which, yeah, genuinely really great addition. Right, and this was another Greg Nicotero. Just, he's so freaking good at this, like, holy shit. And he watched Kill Bill Volume 1 for inspiration before directing. Yeah, I could see there's, you know, some of the violence and the emotional intensity, and yeah. Yeah, just phenomenal episode, and based on the fact that there is a zombie named Penny in this episode, I would like to vote that we change the saying from penny for your thoughts to penny for your brains.